Hello, friends. So today I rummaged through the internet to find you guys 5 upcoming RPG games that are being released in 2022 that I think we should actually get excited about. I carefully chose these games because they're unique from each other, so hopefully there's something for each and every one of you out there. I am personally excited about all of these games. I'm also hoping that most of them are not on everyone else's top 5 or top 10 lists, because I think some of these are really unique. So get your hype pants on and let's get started.
Friends and subjects, thank you all for coming.
Now, I know we are all eagerly awaiting the release of Bloodlines 2. But until then, have you ever dreamed of being a vampire and a detective at the same time? No? Well, start dreaming, because Vampire the Masquerade Swansong is a narrative RPG where you play as 3 different vampires, or kindred, who are tasked with solving a gruesome mystery that has affected the Camarilla, which is basically a super secret fancy group of vampires that you belong to. This is one of those choices matter games mixed with fun RPG mechanics that are adapted from the famous tabletop RPG Vampire the Masquerade. Each of the 3 characters have their own skills and unique vampire disciplines that you can specialize in, which I'm really excited about because I recognize a lot of them from the other Vampire the Masquerade games that I've played, like Bloodlines. Throughout gameplay, it's important that you blend in with the humans at all times, as any hint that you may be a vampire will cause major problems for your super secret vampire club. Just like other Vampire the Masquerade games, you'll need to balance your humanity carefully and make sure you don't go crazy, blow your cover, and ruin the whole secret vampire thing for everybody. I am really looking forward to this game, not only because it's in the Vampire the Masquerade universe, but also because it seems like they are focusing heavily on the RPG aspects of this game, as well as the big game-changing decisions we'll have to make during the story to make each playthrough unique. I think the game could have some decent replayability, especially because it boasts multiple endings. And because of this, making it potentially worth the price tag they're asking for, which is slightly high in my opinion, but only time will tell. Vampire the Masquerade Swansong is set to release in May, so actually it might even be out by the time I release this video. Look for it on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and later on for Nintendo Switch. Next! Okay, first of all, this game looks genuinely awesome.
Hide.
Is that a motherfucking dragon?
I have tremendous respect for the devs going with a pretty ballsy theme for this game. I'll get to that in a second. But secondly, look how pretty it is.
Wow.
You play a young girl named Frey Holland who's living in present-day New York, USA, and having a rough time. She wants to escape and somehow finds herself diving through a portal into another world. A fantasy world. All of a sudden, she's zipping around rooftops in her sneakers, fighting dragons and casting magic spells. Anyone else get vibes from your childhood when you used to imagine that you were a mighty hero sent to fight all the bad guys and nothing could stop you? But in reality, you were just putting on a bath towel for a cape and wearing your dad's shoes? No? Just me? That might be why this concept is so cool to me though. I just love the idea of the protagonist fighting dragons with magic spells in a pair of Nikes. I think the mix of modern teen protagonists and high fantasy setting is pretty brave, but if done correctly, it could be really, really cool. The last game I can think of that pulled something like that off was Nox in the year 2000.
You fly like an imp?
I can't fly. I fell. I fell here from my living room.
Fell from what?
Game development was an entirely different beast back then. In Forspoken, you'll be dashing around a big open-world map with magically enhanced parkour while fighting monsters and exploring the lovely landscape. I'm just hoping there's some loot to find. Forspoken is set to release in October on PC and PS5. And now, zombies! Decision Red Daze is an action RPG with a side of survival and tower defense. This game stood out to me from the rest due to its top-down camera and combat style. The combat style reminds me of Project Zomboid and Darkwood, but mostly Project Zomboid because, you know, zombies. In the game, you'll play as a squad of survivors that you can customize and upgrade as you progress in the game. What does progress mean? Well, it means fighting zombies, upgrading your dudes, surviving in the wasteland, and building settlements. This is one of those games I'll probably play just to let off some steam after a long day of adulting. It looks genuinely satisfying to murder those zombies and seems like one of those games I could keep going back to try out different strategies. Decision Red Daze is set to release... Oh, it's also set to release on May 19th. So again, it's probably out once I release this video. It's on Steam. Go check it out. Alaloth, Champions of the Four Kingdoms. I am seriously nerding out over this game. I'm actually afraid to get too excited about it because you never know these days. But it's got everything that I want in an RPG. A challenging skill-based combat system, crafting, factions, a cool story, the Middle Ages, and the list goes on. The coolest part of this game, though, is definitely the combat system. It's really skill-based and reactive and seems more in-depth than most RPGs. I hate to do it, but I have to. I gotta. I'm sorry. It reminds me of Dark Souls because the game as a whole isn't necessarily Soulsy, but the combat definitely has some Souls flavor. You have to dodge, parry, use timing in your attacks, generally be careful how you pull enemies or you'll be easily overrun. You even drop all your stuff when you die and you have to go back to retrieve it, and if you don't, you lose it forever. The devs say that they were inspired by titles such as Baldur's Gate and Pillars of Eternity for this game, but I think there's more to it than that. So I'm going to imagine it as something that might pop out 9 months later if Baldur's Gate and Dark Souls 1 stayed up too late after playing Farkle and drinking loads of wine. There is a lot more depth to this game than I have time to discuss in this video, but you can bet that I'll be playing this one when it's released. Alaloth is set to release sometime in 2022 on PC, possibly Xbox One, definitely on Steam though. Check it out. Batora, Lost Haven. This is a game for you filthy casuals out there, and I mean that in the best way possible. Batora is a hack and slash RPG that's not too challenging but still managed to glue me to my screen with its visuals, storytelling, and fun combat. You play as Avril, a girl who is seemingly randomly selected to receive some awesome powers and to save the world after half of it was destroyed and her whole family was killed. The game's combat features 2 types of damage, physical and mental, and Avril can switch seamlessly between them as needed in order to damage foes and access different abilities. The 2 damage types are also necessary to complete puzzles in the game, which I found out to be a nice break in gameplay and actually pretty fun to solve. Throughout the game, you will collect runes to upgrade Avril's damage and defenses in order to customize your style of play. You can also alter the game's world and storyline by making a multitude of moral choices that have both good and bad outcomes.
Rose and everyone else died because of his egoism. But maybe Mila is right. He's just another victim of Soren's malice. What should I do?
After playing through the demo of the game, my impression was that Batora will make a great couch game or something to play after a stressful day when you want a relaxing game with a good story, some light puzzles, and fun hack and slash gameplay. Batora is set to release sometime in 2022 on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch. So there you go. That was 5 upcoming games in the second half of 2022. Apparently 2 of them are actually already released, which is a bit awkward, but it really took me a long time to make this video. So give me a break, okay? I'm sort of new to this whole format. So let me know what you thought in the comments below. I really appreciate your feedback. And if you would like to see more videos like this, let me know by liking, subscribing, and commenting on the video. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.